Good afternoon, everyone. Our respected dignitaries, faculties, and dear participants, I, Dr. Konika Bansal, welcome all of you today on a very special occasion of 39th Annual CME, exploring the profound journey of human life from appearance to disappearance. In this spirit, Swami Vivekananda's words resonates. The goal of life is to serve, to love, and to purify. The sessions will include interactive segments, ensuring the enriching discussion among us. I would like to invite Swami Muktinathananda&Chief, the Secretary, Vivekananda Polyclinic, on the dais. Then I would like to invite our Chief Guest, Professor Ravichandran, the Vice Chancellor, Delhi Pharmaceutical Services and Research University, the Director, NIPR, Kolkata. And now I invite Dr. B.K. Singh, the Medical Superintendent, Vivekananda, on the dais. As we proceed with the inaugural function, let us invoke the divine presence and seek the blessings for the success of the CME. So I request all our on-dais members to offer the floral tributes to the Holy Trinity. To proceed further, I request our nursing sisters to grace the stage for the invocation and lamp lighting, symbolizing the illumination of knowledge and wisdom. May this eternal flame guide our deliberations and inspire us to serve the humanity with compassion and dedication.
श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहे तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहे। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ शं नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शं नो भवतोर्यमः शं नो इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि हृदं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मान्ववतु तद्वक्तार्ववतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्रीराम कृष्णाय प्रणमस्तु।
May I request Swami Muktinathananda Maharaj Ji to share your invaluable insights and officially inaugurate today's CME.
Hey, हमारा कागज ले हमारा पैड ले पैड कुछ सॉफ्टली बता दीजिए एप्पल मंगवा के पहन ले अच्छा नहीं देखेगा ये देर फ्रॉम नहीं पर listen it's a mandatory requirement gets reported to NB. ओम जननीं सरदां देवीं रामकृष्णं जगद्गुरुं पादपद्मे तयो स्थित्वा प्रणमामि मुहुर्मुहुः। नमः श्री जतिराजाय विवेकानंद सुरये सच्चित सुख स्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। It's indeed a very pleasant and proud moment for the Institute have a person like Professor Ravichandran V as the chief guest of our annual CME. While the CME will be participated by a host of enlightened doctors of our institute and elsewhere, but today we are very much privileged to be able to get it crowned by a person like Professor Ravichandran. I do not want to elaborate on the vast CV of the chief guest, but I want to add just 3 personal glimpses of his life. Yes, please come. Sir, इधर आइए. Sir, इधर आइए, please. It is reserved for you. First point is, he hails from Chennai. You know, the Chennai is a place where Swami Vivekananda travelled as a wandering monk while covering cities to city throughout the country. But it was the first place where the youth of Chennai recognized the talent of Swami Vivekananda. They were paupers. They started a street collection, begging money from the passers-by, collected the passage for Swami Vivekananda and persuaded him to travel to Chicago, and the rest is the history. Swami Vivekananda's appearance on the world stage was organized by a handful number of pauper youth in Chennai, but we are charged with the spirituality, with the principle of renunciation and service, as envisaged by Swami Vivekananda as the national ideals. And he is one such youth from Chennai. Thoroughly, he is initiated in the ideas and ideals of Swami Vivekananda. And that's why he had no difficulty in ascending to the glory of the summit, being director of NIPER, the national body, for 10 long years, uninterrupted. Most glorious years he had, and then now he has been selected for the Vice Chancellor of Delhi University for the last 4 years. And just one call, he came here. So much of allegiance to Swami Vivekananda. He never looked at his diary and his long number of commitments. Just one call he responded, and he is here today. He is deeply impressed by seeing the eagerness of our medical fraternity, and he has promised that he would extend his hand of cooperation in the days to come. I take this opportunity to thank our own person, our head of our CTVS department, and for being the instrumental in inviting Dr. Ravichandran, because Dr. Bhavatas Viswas was also a member of the NIPER in the past, and he was a very honorable member of the national body. I take this opportunity to welcome our honorable speakers, chairpersons of our institute and elsewhere, who has kindly agreed to come and grace this occasion. And our special message to our young medicos, our residents, who have come with the great vision to build their life So my earnest request for them to be not only to be excellent in their professional field, but to be excellent as a human being also, which is the crisis of the country. Secondly, now education is their mandatory requirement. But as soon as they complete the program, it will be an optional program. Because now they will have to attend to their professional duties, where the pursuit of education become a secondary detail. And that is where the medicos make a blunder in their life. Sri Ramakrishna, the mentor of Swami Vivekananda, has said in his original Bengali language, Javod machi tabod shikhi. As long as I live, so long do I learn. But ironically, its reverse is also true. As long as I learn, so long do I live. Especially in the medical profession, unless you are abreast with the newer technologies, newer developments, newer procedures, you are out. You are rusted out. Swami Vivekananda said, it's better to wear out than rust out. And look at the speakers. Dr. Biswas, even at this age, continuously participating in the CMEs, in the educational programs, so is Dr. Ravichandran. They are at our forefront. And even at this stage, they are heading the cream of the institutions of our country. They are always ready to help us. We should take their help and proceed further. I, from the bottom of my heart, send a very warm welcome to one and all to make this program a great success at the feet of Swami Vivekananda. Thank you.
Now I kindly request our chief guest, Professor Ravichandran, to grace the stage and share your inspiring words with us.
सभी के नमस्कार. By owing my respect to Maharaj Muktinathananda&Chief, the chairman of the CME, Professor Bapatos Biswas, Dr. B.K. Singh, the superintendent of the hospital, Vivekananda Polyclinic, Institute of Medical Science, the invited, the stakeholders, the best minds of the IMS, Vivekananda Polyclinic, Institute of Medical Science. I am really excited and to commit to be part of Ramakrishna Mission Shevashram Vivekananda Polyclinic Institute of Medical Science activity as I conveyed with the Maharajji. I am here to state that the dynamics of activity today being a dedication foundation day in which continuous medical education program it is conducted 39th year. being part of this organization, it is a respect in the society, in the global scenario. I feel that the same manner I extend respect to every one of you sitting in this August gathering. The wisdom generating the next generation is a serious concern. Dedicated manner, more than 5 decades, this organization functioning with mentorship and direction of Maharajji. It is not so simple. I was a simple teacher and made into the level of the principal of the institute. What are the difficulties we faced? As a founder director of the National Institute, what difficulties we faced? This is with the multiple support and strength of financial aspect. Itna difficulties and challenges. Organization like this, with the principle of Swami Vivekananda, the dialysis unit, I was hearing from Maharajji, it started with the dialysis unit 5 decades before, keeping the pain of the people in the mind, establishing the dialysis facility is a very serious concern. What currently we align with the after 5-6 decades, ILBS, AIMS Delhi, IIT BHU, IIT Delhi, the Delhi Pharmaceutical University, JNU, we were itna governmental organization with the full support and strength of that the activity, we could not able to see that this kind of that the service for which you are all highly respectable, and I owe my respect and dedication for your dedication of service. This is not that simple thing. The users, they have trust on this organization in the multiple level. I have seen the entire facility with the guidance of Professor Babatos Biswas. The people with high confidence and trust, they are coming here, using this facility and seeking the strength of that, the expertise, the knowledge and the skill. These all together, it is a very important dedication and service to the society. While we go for DNB, what Professor Biswas was heading, he was the Vice President of National Board. He is a brainchild of DNB, established in this country, this level. It is a real service to the society. It is not that the simple component running of a medical college with all this business, but running that the DNB with this kind of hospital, it is a very serious concern, improving capability of that the clinician, the young mind who is sitting in front of here. They are all that the great leaders of that the tomorrow medical fraternity. The capability and the wisdom, the skill together it works. The people may think, I am qualified. What is the skill it is there? Still, I was talking with Professor Babatos Biswas. I am disabled in certain way. He was laughing. What disabled, in what way you are disabled? I don't know several technological component. I am not fit into that the level of operating missile. I am part of that the pharmaceutical component only, but disability is a several segment. So it doesn't mean that everyone learned and skilled in all aspects. So disability everywhere it is there. Need capability to improve on every day-to-day activity while facing the challenge. I was asking one doctor, Jain, what is your aspiration and strength, how you are feeling that the component? Because everyone has that of certain disability. Even technology, every day the technology, as Maharaj was saying, the technology is that every day it's emerging. We need to equip ourselves, equip with that, compete with that other organization, with the commitment. These are the need of the day of developing capability in which what the day-to-day activities is happening. While we enter into an organization, normally I think that God blessing it is a need. For today, the activity should happen with very effective manner. Challenges always comes, it empower the individual. This is what it is a need of the day to understand. Doesn't mean that the officer sitting in the helm of affair don't have challenge. Everyone has a challenge, but the challenge gives that empowerment, challenge gives that confidence, challenge gives that the best quality to do the service. By this the way I could see the service what it is happening should go little higher level with more capability. Logically, we collectively together do that certain 100 crores project recently, Anusanta National Research Foundation project, you all know that. I was presenting the project. Current healthcare system, it is managed with the symptom-based problem. The symptom, the disease, pathological condition, what is the cause for that pathological condition of the symptoms? We together, we framed this component as that the liver function dysfunction. Dysfunction is that the cause for the SARA problems. Liver dysfunction happens, the pathology starts. Epigenetic modify that liver function and dysfunction. Dysfunction causes several disability in that the different organal dysfunction. It may go to the level of that the neuronal aspect, the cardiological aspect, renal challenges, the together which makes the challenge in the pathological system. What are the difficulties further to have the correction on this? Not only addressing of the pathological management, what is the cause for the problem need to be addressed in the medical fraternity, then only that the health system really it would be addressed and it gives that strength and happiness, trustability of that the user in the healthcare system. For which here I could see it is extended wings of that the allied health science working together, and I suggested to Professor Biswas 5 decades of the activity need to be studied, data need to be identified and classified for the epidemiological component, where the problem comes, which district the people getting this kind of the problem, how to address the problem. These all that need to be discussed in the continuous medical education review meeting on every day basis. Now you all know that the data is the business, data is the service, data empower the knowledge, data give that high skilled decision. So in this aspect, how the last 5 decades of that the service can be classified and made into that speciality wise the quality improvement which makes that a sensible decision and helpful for that the improving capability of that the clinician who makes that the best service. The center, the user comes over here and they would be very happy that these kind of the things, only this region get this problem of that the renal failure, renal challenge, dialysis. While I was seeing that the dialysis unit, such a wonderful service it is happening, because the liver and the kidney, the two component where that the first the challenge it comes. Such a noble service it is happening. Still furthermore, how quality can be improved to correct that the major challenge problem in that health system. It is a very important aspect. I am very small in the health aspect, but I have certain the significant, the reach in the pharmaceuticals. Basically, we started to work with the ILBS instead of liver disease, one segment where that the problem it is Dr. Shiv Sharin is that our group mentor. Where this metabolic disorders, the problem it goes into that cancer level. The problem of metabolic disorder only it has progressed into that the cancer level. The AIMS oncology unit, Dr. Shamir Bakshi is the head of the institute. He is part of our collaborator. So the together, the best hospitals of the liver and the cancer, they work together for the pharmaceutical component to address the problem. The point why I want to say, any small level of activity, it is supported with that allied health system, the partners, collaborator, the surgery happens the best. In one certain level, the challenge comes, surgery will get failed. Ultimately, the user will get disappointed, lose the life. So the point is here, the individual, we have limited knowledge, limited expertise. We should understand that the time and expertise capability of the individual, how to extend the wings to learn the best level to achieve the objective is a message. By this the way we have initiated how the metabolic disorder is a major problem. It progresses into that fatty liver. The fatty liver, how it affects the different organal system and how it progresses into that cancer. This is a major challenge. If you extend with that other team of expertise, you will get highly respected, recognized, national level and the global level recognition. It comes to your feet on that, for which we have high respect. Being I have committed, I convey to that Maharaj, I am part of this organization. I am happy to be part of this activity. Now the biopharma mission, 10,000 crores, it is announced. You could understand how the protein modification, it create a problem. Same the protein used as an peptide, antibody drug conjugate, how it address the problem. So this is a level of activity, it is going, progressing into the next level, next part, next the therapy of all larger molecule, antibody conjugate, antibody therapy, significantly it is going larger molecule level, it is moving from that the smaller molecule into larger molecule, for that the significance and that precision level it is going to happen in the future. The future is not going to continue with the small molecule, bispecific level, trispecific level, how that the proteins, enzymes, antibody together which moves into that trispecific antibodies work for that the clearing the problem is going to be the future of the day. How work together on this 100 plus test and assay system it is happening. So one individual can learn that 5 or 6 skills. If you extend 10% of that your skill to other person, it complement to the system and strengthen the activity with the strategy of 5 years and 10 years period. There will be a very long establishment and strength credential. You will be part of that. Even 0.1% you contribute. This will be a great achievement in your career. I don't want to take much of your very highly credential potential time. The only component is that if you extend, the people will complement. If you compromise your ego, the ego is that major component, you will get more strength on that, you will be very relaxed. Whenever I sit there in any decision, I never have that framed structure of the decision. This is a simple logic. Away from that the problem, away from that the stressed activity, to be that the best level of that the outcome to come in that the meeting or that the any quality of the research on this. I thank Maharaj, the Ramakrishna Mission, Sheva Shrama, Vivekananda Polyclinic, Institute of Medical Science, the secretary and other office bearers of the organization, the medical fraternity mentoring this organization to be progressed further and further the best level in the national and global recognition. Namaskar and thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thoughtful ideas and experience with us. Now I request Professor Dr. Babatosh Biswas to felicitate our esteemed Maharaji, who is the backbone of our institution. We honor his hard work and commitment and his valuable contributions. Now I request Maharaji to felicitate our esteemed chief guest, Professor Ravichandran. We are honored to have him today and we express our gratitude for his presence. Now I request Dr. Tarun Pandey, the Senior Consultant Neurosurgeon, Vivekanand Polyclinic, to felicitate the Medical Superintendent, Dr. P.K. Singh, to honor his dedication and his outstanding contribution for this CME. Now we go ahead to start our today's academic feast. Let's dive into the enriching discussions and knowledge sharing. So we are starting with our first session, New Year Concepts in Infertility by Dr. Seema Pandey, Head of Department Reproductive Medicine, Senior Consultant, Vivekanand Polyclinic, and the session will be chaired by Dr. Ratni Gujral, former Professor and Head Radiology Department, SDPGI, and the former Head of Department Radiology, Vivekanand Polyclinic. The second chairperson will be Dr. P.K. Agrawal, former Professor and Head Pathology Department, King George Medical University, and presently the Head of Department Pathology, Vivekanand Polyclinic.
चाहिए, आना चाहिए. Should I start? Good afternoon. Respected Swamiji, our esteemed Chief Guest Professor Ravichandran, Professor Vishwas, Dr. Singh, and all the dignitaries on the dais, dear faculty and friends, I am Seema Pandey. Today I am going to talk about newer concepts in infertility. At the outset, I would like to thank our Secretary Swami Muktinathananda&Chief for giving me this opportunity. And this opportunity I'll take as a further step ahead, and I would like to talk about the department that is the newer kid on the block in our family of Vivekanand Polyclinic. So friends, infertility, as Professor Ravichandran was earlier saying, this is something which we are accumulating, aggregating as the faulty lifestyle choices we are making day in and out. Everything is linked to each other, and as we know now that infertility has been defined as a proper disease by WHO as well. And I have kept my presentation very simple so that this kind of disability which we face when we are dealing with the newer department or some other department, we do not face, and we can communicate with each other, and we can help at large the society which we are striving to. So infertility is inability to conceive if your age is less than 35 years and you've been trying without any kind of contraception or your unprotected intercourse. And if you are more than 35, it takes only 6 months to label you as a subfertile or infertile. 1 in 6 couples trace that they are having subfertility as an issue. Believe me, this data was 5 or 6 years old, but still that is the latest which we get from CDC. And out of which 40% times both male or female partner is responsible for that, and 20% there is combined factor. So apart from female factor, male factor combined, there is unexplained infertility. So as I was saying, drastic lifestyle changes which has led to change socio-economic dynamics. Our girls, they want to be equally educated, they want to take up their career further, they want to be known, they want to secure a proper place in society, and that sphere where they think it is safe to raise a child, and same thing applies to the boys as well. But as I keep quoting Mrs. Indira Nooyi, that a woman's career and biological clock is always at conflict. So out of these choices she is making for her career, her life to get settled, get recognition, she is losing more than 80% of her fertility potential. By the time she is getting married and she is trying to get pregnant, she is already crossed 30. And for Indian subcontinent, I want to just revise it that our fertility potential or span is 5 to 7 years shorter than our Western counterparts. So things which they are facing at the age of 35, our women, they start facing at 27 or 28 years of the age. As a result, when they just start thinking about getting a child, they are just playing with 20% or 10%. And that you can imagine how tough it is. And everybody in this era of Swiggy, Zomato, and click, if within 2 or 3 months they are not getting pregnant, they are just running towards these ART clinics. And what happens to the male? our males, they used to think that nothing changes. They can make a baby till the age of 80 years, and history has been like telling us it was true. But what's happening? The number is not going till the age of 45, but the quality, motility, and everything is taking its toll. And if you talk about the increased incidences of psychiatric issues, psychological problems, certain kind of lifestyle diseases, and even cancers, they are increasing in number just because the male partner is above 40 when it is inseminating that egg which is going to be a progeny in the future. And as a result, there are increased chances of miscarriages, that many kind of perinatal, intranatal complications, and the pregnancy becomes very, very difficult, a journey which you wanted to enjoy. So, on this note, we are going to talk about what are the armamentarium and our portfolio. I'm just going very simple, intrauterine insemination, a very simple tool which was discovered way back in 1800 to impregnate the cattles. And that has come to our practice around 100 years back or 90 years back, and we started using it. The aim is to increase the concentration of the gamete at the point of fertilization so that the chances of pregnancy increases, especially in couples whom we label as unexplained infertile couple, or a couple where male factor, the number, as we have all been WHO's manual day by day, the sperm concentration that is decreasing. The reason is the total sperm count is decreasing in our males throughout the globe, and that's the reason that concentration has come back to 15 millions per ml as a normal thing, which used to be more than 20 millions 20 years back. And these things are taking its toll, and IUI is a good tool for people who are suffering from unexplained infertility or mild male factor. At the same time, a couple where male is what happened? At the same time, when male is having azoospermia, because of any reason, medical, obstructive, non-obstructive, accident, vasectomy, and couple has a desire for a child, intrauterine insemination with donor goes a long way. That is another benefit of intrauterine insemination. कुछ हिल रहा है कहीं? नहीं, आपका लैपटॉप कुछ हो रहा है ना? ये जगह आप इसको ऐसे रखिए. ठीक है. Coming to in vitro fertilization, since Patrick and Robert, they have made Louis Brown way back in 1978. Our assisted reproductive technology has gone far away, and there are breakthrough milestones in the history of assisted reproductive technique. In vitro fertilization is the simplest one. Whenever there is a cause, it was discovered for the couples who were having bilateral tubal block. The process which was being done inside the fallopian tube, when we started doing it inside the machine, we called it in vitro fertilization, IVF, or in simple language, test tube baby. And today, after this breakthrough discovery by Palremo way back in 1992, getting your own genetic child has become a reality for couples where sperms were just few in numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and those couples, they can also have their own child. It is an advancement where we fertilize each and every egg with single sperm and let it grow to become an embryo of any stage, cleavage, blastocyst, and then we transfer it into mother's womb or the female's womb. MC is intracytoplasmic morphologically selected sperm injection which is done through 6,000 and 8,000 X microscope, so that we can just dissect the morphology and anatomy of this sperm, and if there is some anomaly, we can exclude it. Unfortunately, IMSI is not available everywhere. In our institute, we are offering IVF and ICSI. IMSI is basically working in research setups or very big institutes, private ones. PICSI is physiological intracytoplasmic sperm selection. Since 1992, we have been doing whatever IVF babies you are looking at, more than 90% are result of intracytoplasmic sperm injection. And what was lacking there? The natural selection. In vitro fertilization, we take the eggs and we just pour 5 million sperm per egg, and one sperm gets selected through nature, and that is missing when we are doing ICSI. To modify that, we have come up with physiological intracytoplasmic sperm selection, where we use hyaluronic acid, and as a result of the reaction to this particular molecule, the sperms are selected. So that is PICSI. There are various kind of sperm sorters. As I told you, whenever I am moving, that is going off. Yeah, it's being interrupted. So wire is, it never happens. Wait, I will do it here. Yeah. So these sorters, as I was telling you, that the quality of sperm is going down drain, and our males, they are choosing to go for pregnancy at later age, and these sorters, they are very useful in those people whose morphology and motility is not at par what is needed for natural pregnancy, or to give a best embryo in process of assisted reproductive technique. This is one kind of sorter which is called microfluidic chip. And then comes, we go further ahead, a patient of azoospermia. If it is due to obstruction, the sperm or gamete is present inside its testes, and if it is due to blockage, we can just aspirate that sperm from the testes, and we can utilize it for our intracytoplasmic sperm injection, and we can make embryos, and that lady can get pregnant. If it is not the case, we can go to the tissue by doing needle biopsy, and we call it testicular sperm extraction, and that can be done under microscope as well as through simple needle. And simple needle TISA we are offering at our institute as well, microfluidics. Coming to the sperm donation, as I was mentioning, to the couple who are not able to have their own sperm, and they can have. This interesting concept I am coming back to, that is semen freezing. And I would like to get some attention from my surgeon friends, urologists, oncologists. This small procedure, which is very cheap, semen freezing, can keep alive the hope of having your own genetic child for a couple where male is suffering either from some kind of cancer or some kind of autoimmune disease, or there are chances of hypergonadotropic hypogonadism, that he is going to lose his sperm. So we can freeze the sperm and we can use it later either for intrauterine insemination or intracytoplasmic sperm injection. So semen freezing is very, very important, and any patient who is suffering from cancer especially, or undergoing testicular trauma or surgery for any reason on the testes, I would request my colleagues to give them this opportunity and counseling about their semen freezing, which just takes 10 to 15 minutes. Coming to embryo freezing and oocyte freezing, that is also very, very important in today's scenario. For medical reasons, again, my oncologists and surgeon and gynecologist friends who are going to start any kind of chemotherapy, as CA breast has become very common in these women, and the survival and longevity has increased thanks to our chemotherapy. So these women, when they are symptom free, disease free, they desire their own child, and they deserve to be know that they have the option of freezing their eggs if they don't have a partner. If they are married, have a partner, embryo freezing is the better way. Why? Because the survival of embryo is far better, almost more than 99%, than the oocyte, that is around 90 to 95%. So our genuine request, give us 15 days and you'll be proud to know at our institute we are offering embryo freezing, oocyte freezing as well as semen freezing for all our patients suffering from any kind of malignancy, any kind of endometriosis, or for social reason. That is a very interesting concept which has come.
मैम ये व्हाट्सएप कर दीजिए, आपको अपना लैपटॉप लगा देना है आपके पास?
ये इसी में है,
इसी में
आप ले लीजिए.
नहीं.
मैम, if I speak only and I don't see it.
नाम है ना? हेलो.
इसको मेल कर दूं आपको?
अच्छा वो एक
So I was talking about the social egg freezing.
ठीक.
Social egg freezing has become very relevant in today's scenario which we were discussing about. Whenever I'm touching this, it's going mic की वजह से हो रहा है. So social egg freezing has come in a big way, and multiple corporates, IT people and medicos, non-medicos, they are exploiting. There are multiple companies coming up and they are claiming that save your oocytes today and be free for your future use. So what is social egg freezing? If by any social reason you are unable to have your child in the age when your eggs are healthy and good, you can just store or freeze your eggs with us, and then when you feel that you are ready to have a family, it could be your financial reason, it could be any kind of career oriented reason, or not getting an appropriate partner, everything goes in social egg freezing, and you can freeze your eggs. Later when you are ready, then you can utilize it to have your own baby with the egg which was that year old when you have frozen. So it works best in people who are around 32, not above. For Western countries, the data is 35 years. But it doesn't mean that I am just promoting social egg freezing. Our body, our biological clock and nature has made us to carry this baby before our 4th decade. So friends, science is helping you to go ahead and just face the difficulty and come out as a winner, but this is not a regular norm. It's not that today I am not feeling like having child for 5 years and I should go ahead and have my eggs frozen and I'll come back when I feel like having a baby. No, it should be for a particular reason, and all the pros and cons should be told to the couple or to the girl who is going to do it. Next came the discovery of genetic testing. For those couples and families where diseases are running through generation and generation, and they are sick of having sick babies, and there we are offering PGTA, pre-implantation genetic testing for structural diseases, for aneuploidies, and if your age is beyond 40 years, you want to have your own genetic child, but the chances of aneuploidy, as we all understand, that increases with the age, and you want to make it sure that your baby should not be suffering from aneuploidy, to decrease the chances of miscarriages, to prevent the recurrent pregnancy losses, we can go for PGTA and PGTS before doing our embryo transfer, and that service also here in Vivekanand we are offering to our couples. So then came mitochondrial transfer. It's not being done in India though. Mitochondrial transfer is for the people. There is in Europe, there is a community, there is a disease because of the mitochondrial deficiency in the oocyte of the females, and these females, they do 3-party donation ART. Mother's egg is being injected with the mitochondria of the donor egg, and then it is being fertilized by the husband's sperm, and the baby is made, and that improves the quality of your oocyte. It just takes away all the diseases related to the mitochondria, and that is a newer concept. Designer babies are like that only. By removing the mitochondria, we have removed multiple diseases. There are PGTA, PGTS, we have removed all those embryos which were affected by that. Then came CRISPR, where you can do genetic editing, and by editing that, doing that, you can create a baby who looks like Tom Cruise, who thinks like somebody more than IQ more than 150, and who cannot have diabetes, who cannot have any kind of liver disease, metabolic diseases. But there is a very thin line of ethics involved in this. What is good and what is bad? How far you can go with all these advances is something fruit for your thought, where you have to think whether you want to do it or not. By artificial intelligence, we have, since it has come in each and every part of our life, we got kind of embryoscopes where without removing our embryos and keeping it under the microscope, we come to know about the growth rate of these embryos, whether they are normal, abnormal, and that gives us freedom to select the best one to transfer to improve our ART success rate or IVF transfer rate. Same goes with, this is my last slide. Same goes for the sperm selection, and this is computer assisted sperm analysis CASA, which makes our sperm selection very easy. So friends, I would like to end my talk by telling something about 1 year journey of reproductive medicine department of Vivekanand Polyclinic, where we have done 130 cases, and our audit is going to be published very soon in our journal, where we are keeping up with the standard international norms in terms of fertilization rate, in terms of pregnancy rate and live birth rate. As of now, our fertilization rate is around 80 to 90%, which is at par with any other lab in the country or worldwide. Our pregnancy rate is somewhere around 60%, take-home baby rate is around 45 to 50%, and miscarriage rate is around 5 to 7%. Thank you so much. Any question I am open to.
Thank you so much, Dr. Seema Pandey, for a very informative lecture. Since we don't have time, so I won't allow any questions this time. But if anybody has any questions, or just you can contact her individually and ask your questions. And it was a very wonderful lecture, and most of us doesn't know about all this stuff. So I hope that we all are. We have now come to know about all these things, and it's a very nice. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any questions?
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your invaluable insights. I request our chairpersons to felicitate Dr. Seema Pandey. We express our gratitude to you, ma'am, for sharing your expertise with us today. Now I request Dr. Ritu Saxena to felicitate Dr. P.K. Agarwal and Dr. Neeta Bhargava to felicitate Dr. Ratni Gujral. Now we move to our next session, digital detox in children, the most common rising addiction rate in children today, by Professor Dr. Piyali Bhattacharya, Senior Pediatrician in SGPGI. The session will be chaired by Dr. Niranjan Kumar Singh, Head of Department Pediatrics, Health City Vistar, Lucknow, Dr. Neeta Bhargava, Head of Department Pediatrics, Vivekanand Polyclinic, Senior Consultant Pediatrician and National Nutritional Advisor, Smile Train India.
So, good evening everyone. Increasing screen time is an emerging problem in children as well as in adults, and it is impacting mental and physical health of children as well as in adults. So, chosen a very important topic, detox in children, and for delivering this talk, we have an eminent expert, Dr. Piyali Bhattacharya Madam. She is Senior Consultant in SGPGI Lucknow, and she was awarded Fellowship of Royal College London, awarded Fellowship of Indian Academy of Pediatrics, many oration awards, state awards by UP IAP every year, and awarded national winner, the Jagran Awards for Excellence in the Field of Social Services, and she has many publications in her credit, and she is very expert in this topic. So I invite Piyali Madam to deliver her talk. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction, Neeta. With great reverence to Swami Vivekananda and his Guru, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa Dev, I start with saying that this is continued medical education. And Sri Vivekananda has said, we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's feet. So having said that, let us start with something that is connected to education itself. My current topic today will be a digital detox in children. So you all must be identifying with this topic, because as low as 10-month-old child is given a mobile in the hand, and he is eating, watching those mobile cartoons flicker over there. So this child, when you ask him, who grows up seeing Peppa Pig, a pink pig, what will he say? What color is the pig? He will say it's a pink pig. So in this reality world, he thinks of a virtual pig, not of a reality pick. A very sad thing which has happened is this last we heard in the newspapers, the 16-year-old, 14-year-old, 12-year-old girls, these sisters, they jumped from that Ghaziabad flat and all three of them lost their lives. Very unfortunate incidents. But the very unfortunate incident in these girls show that they lacked all protective factors. The first and the foremost was guardians. So were the parents aware that these children were not going to school for 2 years? Were the parents aware that they were into these Korean love games and all that, which was, you remember last we had those Blue Whale, and then we had that Momo, and now we have this Korean love, all these games. What are they doing? They are affecting these little girls, boys, their minds. Let us see if we can do anything. And today what is happening is that we've heard of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The Wi-Fi has become a basic need. A child, when he goes to school, what does he say? Mama, इस स्कूल में Wi-Fi नहीं है, यहाँ हम नहीं पढ़ सकते. So this has become a really, really big thing for the child. Now when we saw these stats in the ICMR studies, in the other studies, what did we see? That the social media time is gradually increasing. This is 2023, 2022, 23 data, and today this has exponentially increased now. And when we talk about addiction again, how do we define addiction? Addiction is a psychological and physical inability to stop consuming something. It may be a chemical, it may be a drug, or doing a particular activity knowing that it is causing psychological and physical harm. So there is a terminology called psychoactive addiction. It is not only drugs, it is non-substance behavioral addiction, gambling addiction, internet gaming, use of pornography, use of internet, excessive exercise as well, and of course that shopping mania which many of us women have. These are all psychoactive addictions. So do screens affect the brain, the developing brain of these little children like addictive substances? Yes. You will see over here that there's a in the center there's a picture of the developing brain from 5 to 20 years of age. So if you see this brain, the brain is gradually developing. You can see the color change till 20 to 25 years of age. As the brain grows, the development starts at the back and proceeds to the front. The front is where the frontal cortex is the seat of our decisiveness, of our creativity, decision making. Everything comes from this frontal cortex. But this matures last. So I would question whether 18 is the right age for voting, because then the teenager's brain, frontal cortex, has not yet matured. It matures by say 24 years of age. So what happens? In the center is the limbic system, the reward system, which matures fast. So the child understands the rewards, the pleasure of the rewards, but does not have a break as the frontal cortex does not apply, has not matured till then. One factor. The other factor is that anything which stimulates the reward center, which gives pleasure, will give rise to dopamine-like substances which are called the happy hormones. So these happy hormones will make the child feel pleasure, happiness, and therefore he will become more and more used to using these substances that give him pleasure. So once the stress pathway is actually there may be a suicidal tendency if he does not thereafter get these happy hormones, because you have snatched away the mobile, because he's not had the drug, or whatever the depriving factor may be in this child. Moreover, there is a lot of curiosity in these children. There is a peer pressure as well. नहीं क्या, कैसे नहीं लेगा, एक कश लगा के सिगरेट का देख ले, अरे backward है क्या? So that is what is peer pressure. He will take it. And then there is easy accessibility. Every home, every child has accessibility to a mobile phone. So whether it is a healthy use or whether it is a problematic use. How do we understand that? Healthy screens are usually for educational purposes, interacting with friends and relatives, enjoying art and music, or connecting with like-minded people, and sometimes for organizational purposes. But unhealthy screens, just watching inappropriate contents, unsafe websites, playing violent video games, watching pornography, and thereafter, if you see the ideal daily schedule, you will see that sleep here is non-negotiable. Study here is non-negotiable. You have to have that part of the day and it cannot be interfered with. However, during your daily chores, maybe some personal life for toiletry, for play, etc., you have a small chunk of an hour or so where you can use your screens. However, if this increases, the media increases, it is increasingly eating away your essentials, non-negotiable time, it is eating away your school studies and your time where you have the personal time, then it becomes a problematic use. So, any use that interferes with your daily functioning is a problematic use. So, we all know the harmful effects. I'll just highlight a few. With the obesity epidemic coming in, children are becoming couch potatoes. They will watch mobiles at night, order on Swiggy, order on all these Swiggy, Zomato, etc. And they will sit and eat those fatty substances. Many of them may land up here with fatty livers, with obesities, things of that kind. Then of course there are some orthopedic problems, like you have stiffness of the neck or torticollis, you have the computer vision syndrome, and then you have this selfie-itis, then plugged ears. You may have seen or heard them taking mobile music at high pitches, which is not right for the ears. So they may have a lot of other problems as well. And other than this, remember, there are problems of cyber crimes. Many of us have had physical arrests, digital arrests, and this is the latest coming from the Department of KGMC Ophthalmics. Dr. Abhijit Kaur has to say that they are seeing a lot of squint in cases now due to long use of mobiles. So, आप remember करें कि long use, the eyes are not adjusted to constantly look at near objects, and this is the result. The child will come to you with squint. So, when we talk about the problems, we have to see a common framework, which is a 4C work. 4C framework consists of content risks, contract risks, you have conduct risks, and last but not the least, you have the contract risks. So, content, contact, conduct, and contract. Of all these, the most horrible one is that of grooming and cyberbullying. This gentleman will, since the mothers and fathers today don't have so much of time, the child may feel neglected, and thereafter some uncle, some auntie, somebody will cram and they will give them a little bit of gifts online, they will lavish attention on them, and finally these are the ones who will, there will be physical coercion or use of force also in these children. There may be rape, there may be abuse, there may be murder in these children. So be careful, know where your child is going on the internet. About cyberbullying, how do you recognize the cyberbullying? The child may become secretive, may shut down the computer when you come, may change whatever he is watching, may very, very pathetic, in a very depressed state. So all these will show that the child is being harassed somehow. Remember here, never ever delete the messages, keep the messages and complain to cybercrime. Actually, the fact that we all don't know and we should be knowing is that the mobiles, the screens, the internets are what they are, those responsive relationships. The younger the age of the child, he starts watching screens, and the number of daily hours that they watch have a negative effect on physical and mental well-being, irrespective of the fact कि हम quality screen material दे रहे हैं बच्चे को. So जितना छोटा बच्चा, 10 महीने का बच्चा और जितना लंबा टाइम उतना ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर और उतना ज़्यादा फिजिकल एंड मेंटल हार्म होगा. सो दिस इज़ डोज रिलेटेड. रिमेंबर, थोड़ा सा दिखाते हैं, ज़्यादा सा दिखाते हैं, नहीं चलता. द चाइल्ड बिकम अ एडिक्ट. सो व्हाट आर द साइंस? जब आप देखोगे कि एट रिस्क कौन है. एट रिस्क वो वाला है जो अपने आप आ रहे हो कमरे में, वो छिपा दे रहा है, अपना बंद कर दे रहा है कंप्यूटर, कोई पोर्नोग्राफी देख रहा है, या लॉन्ग लॉन्ग फ़ोन कॉल्स कर रहा है, रात बिरात फ़ोन पे लगे हुए हैं. देन ही रिसीव्स गिफ्ट्स फ्रॉम अननोन पीपल, टर्न्स द मॉनिटर क्विकली ऑफ, यूजेस ऑनलाइन सर्विसेज फ्रॉम अदर सोर्सेज. घर से नहीं देख रहा है, किसी दोस्त के यहाँ से देख रहा है. एंड फाइनली बिकम्स विदड्रॉन फ्रॉम द फैमिली. दीज आर द साइंस ऑफ एन online risk, a child at risk, where we have to think. So when do we label as a social media addiction? See, internet addiction is not defined in the Data and Statistical Manual 5, which we refer to as, which is the Bible for us for mental disorders. But social media addiction means when the child has a compulsion to use the social media in excessive amounts, uncontrolled urge to log in, impairs other areas of life, unfavorable consequences in the form of mental health disorders, in the form of physical health disorders, experiences withdrawal symptoms. So 12% of adolescents in social media platforms now suffer from addiction, and it is increasing exponentially. So this is a dictionary which I have given you. Nomophobia, FOMO. FOMO, of course, now somebody has come out, fear of missing out, say JOMO, joy of missing out. So you should be happy that you have missed out. Then FOBLO, problematic internet use, or PIU, selfieitis. We all very nicely take selfies with people, but remember, selfieitis is borderline when you have 3 per day, and then if you have more than 6 per day, it is a chronic selfieitis. This is also now becoming a disorder. And last but not the least is internet gaming disorder, which we recognize when the child is too preoccupied with gaming, has withdrawal symptoms like drug withdrawal when you take away the mobile. The tolerance seems to be there, and thereafter the dependence increases. So relationships, education, everything is affected when the child has suffered from internet gaming disorder. Of these criteria, 5 of more criteria, and you say the child has internet gaming disorder. So basically this internet, the screens, they are changing our brains. How? Researchers have found that there are microstructural changes in the adolescent brain, such as decreased gray matter volume. So our brains are being actually decreasing in size rather than increasing in size, and the gray matter, which is very important, is being affected. And researchers have found that they are changing the way our brain works. हम लोग पहले कैसे सोचते थे, आंख बंद करके, अच्छा किताब के उस पन्ने में ये लिखा हुआ है. So we used to remember the book, and we used to remember what is written, the text in it. But now what do we remember? अच्छा वो वाला .com देख लेते हैं, उसमें आ जाएगा. So it's changing how we think also. Now what do we think? We think of the databases where we will get things. I do not say it is a bad thing to go on the internet, but it should not be a harmful thing. What are the solutions? Today we need to talk about digital detox. So, digital detox, we need to think of parental involvement, teaching the child time management and digital hygiene, wellness and lifestyle adjustments. So what is the definition of digital detox? Actually, the digital detox is a conscious period of time spent reducing or completely reframing from using a digital device such as a smartphone, computer, a social media platform to break the cycle of constant connectivity, and you may turn off notifications, remove apps. So the benefits are many. So how to do without completely unplugging screen-free zones? Let's talk about that later. Time-based events, social media breaks, and some physical activities. The benefits are millions. It reduces stress, it reduces FOMO, it gives you family time, it gives your own time. So remember that the benefits of digital detox. And now what the family can do, what the guardians can do. You can have a personalized media plan. So the greatest role is that of the parents, where they have screen free zones. Bedroom में mobile नको, no mobile. Dining table में no mobile. That is the time when we are catching up with our parents, when we are catching up with our kids. So dining table, bedroom, absolutely nothing. Where should the computer be? It should be in an accessible place, maybe in the lobby, maybe somewhere where everybody has access to it. So no secretive online activity. Screen free timings, 30 minutes at least before bedtime, if not more, I would say 2 hours, 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. Study time, no. Family time, no. Meals, prayers, relaxing together, no mobiles. So rule number 2 is make a daily schedule. Because these kids are little ones, they need parental guidance. So the parents can help them and schedule their timings to play time, study time, family time, prayers. Spirituality, remember, is one thing that is very important for these kids' mental health. Those children who are into spirituality will have a lot of resilience, and even failure and setbacks cannot hold them back. So this is a very important factor, and research which has come up, spirituality is a very big protective factor. Then you have scheduled everything. As the child grows, his timings may be changed, the scheduling may be changed, and screen time should become gradually less than 2 hours. And remember, parents are role models. Digital media literacy is one more thing that we need to inculcate into the children. Because in this day of misinformation, we have to prevent the child. If Fair and Lovely advertisements keep coming in and the child keeps rubbing Fair and Lovely all the time, तो पूरा वर्ल्ड तो Fair and Lovely लगा के गोरा ही हो जाता, काला कौन रह जाता. So they target these young minds कि इनके कमजोरी को पकड़ो, इनको टारगेट करो. So remember that you need to show them digital literacy. Inform them about the online traps, that there is misinformation, there is pornography which is not real life, Facebook and gaming addiction do happen. You can explain these things to them beforehand. And of course, virtual friends are never better than real friends. They are not true friends. Cyberbullying, you need to tell them that that can be a trap. You need to tell us, or a trusted adult if you are ever cyberbullied. Then you have sexting. Tell them that the whole digital footprint stays. So even if you wipe it off from your screen, it still is there. And before you post, this is digital hygiene, think if it is true, if it is helpful, inspiring, necessary at all, or kind. And then you must post it. Rule 4, safety rules. Facebook is only for friends. Today you are posting on Facebook that you are in Goa enjoying yourself and you are posting multiple photographs. Tomorrow you get information that there has been a burglary at home. आपके घर में चोरी हो गई. क्यों? क्योंकि people are watching, they know that you are away, and there they have actually used that information to steal from you. So never give your photos to a stranger. If you feel uncomfortable, you must inform your parents or a trusted adult. And if you have any OTPs, please do not reveal your OTPs or passwords to others. Just yesterday somebody called me and said, मैं Blue Dart से बोल रहा हूँ मैडम, आपके पास एक OTP आएगी, हमारा आदमी आ रहा है आपके पास, उसको दे दीजिएगा, आपका घर उसको ढूंढे नहीं मिल रहा है, please call him. And I said, no, I'm not doing it, because before that somebody had informed me कि ये Blue Dart से एक फ़ोन आता है, अगर moment you start sharing this thing, आपका पूरा screen उससे share हो जाता है, अगर आप banking करो, कुछ भी करो, उनको सारे passwords, सारे OTPs मिलते रहेंगे. So please never share such things. And of course, the WWW approach. A parent must know where the child is actually online, whom they are meeting, which online platforms are they accessing, and where they go online. So if you know these things, you will be able to help your child. Do not think of it as spying. This is how you help the child. These are certain digital safety apps which can be used by all of us for parental controls or to set screen time limits. So for all parents, remember, the children are, if they are not listening to you, don't get worried. But be worried because they are actually watching you. You are the role model. अगर आप सारा टाइम हाथ में मोबाइल लेके स्क्रॉल कर रहे हो, don't think that the children will ever listen to you. बापू कर रहा है, माँ कर रही है, मैं भी कर रहा हूँ. So the role of ours as a doctor is guidance to the patient, counseling the children, and awareness to everyone that what is happening to these children, what is problematic use, what is the cyberbullying thing. So this is what you must inform every child and every mother while you are counseling them. For the children, remember, do not let it happen. Prevention is always better than cure. So anticipatory guidance for all children. Talk to them about the safety measures. Be their trusted pediatrician or their doctor, uncle, auntie, so that they come to you and they tell you what is happening over there, and you will be able to help them. For all of us, remember, digital detox also includes ergonomics and 20 into 20 into 20 rule. That means what? When you have watched screens for 20 minutes, please look at some object 20 meters dur and blink 20 times before you come back to your screen. So that is the 20 into 20, which will prevent eye strain. And remember the ergonomics. See this person sitting here, this is at a right angle to his thighs and this is at a right angle to his thighs. And if it is a child and the child feet does not reach the ground, put a stool so that again it becomes at 90 degrees to the ground. So ergonomics again becomes important to prevent these orthopedic and physical harmful effects. So when you counsel parents, please counsel them that you must show genuine interest in your children. Be computer literate yourself. Spell out do's and don'ts. Don't think the child does not like discipline. They do like it, but you should be in the real world with the realities and spelling out and keeping these same rules for yourself. And communicate your requests with authority. Clear guidelines of maximum daily and weekly gaming. These are the IAP guidelines which say 0 to 2 years, no mobiles. I have started writing on my prescriptions, no mobiles, and thereafter till any age for us as well, it is not more than 2 hours with a 20 to 20 into 20 rule. Many people will ask, what is the right age for social media? Not less than 13. So remember, if they are less than 13, no social media for them. It would be safer if they were 18. So my key takeaways today is that we do not say no to mobiles. We must promote thoughtful, safe and balanced use of digital media, build digital wisdom and encourage digital healthy habits, strengthen online safety skills and support academic focus by teaching mindful and purposeful use of technology. So the Telegraph recently, a Maharashtra village switches off TVs, mobiles, everything in an evening. PUBG addiction more dangerous than drugs. Our doctors have come out in the field. Australia now bans social media for everybody under 16. The current recommendation, बुरा मत टाइप करो, बुरा मत लाइक करो और बुरा मत शेयर करो. So that is today's current. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Very insightful, very practical. Thank you for finishing in time. That's more important. So the house is open for questions and comments.
Very good information for all the parents, young parents. Very good information. Thank you.
It's very realistic and very horrifying. It's a real line facing that. Problem is that if child is above 10, it's very difficult to control them because both parents are working, both children are in the home, and nowadays I don't think every person has landline. You have to left mobile in the room and computer in the room. In such scenario, what you suggest?
I would not say that you withdraw it. आप बच्चे के हाथ से 21st century में छीन के मोबाइल नहीं हटा सकते. But parents have to be guarded about how much is being used. So that is why I said there are parental apps which need to be set. The parents can see, देखो आप बाहर से भी देख रहे हो बच्चा क्या एक्टिविटी कर रहा है, because you have those installed cameras. So आपने अगर parental app set कर दिए, it will automatically go away after 2 hours and the child will not be able to watch. You have to give them some other interesting work. मोनोपोली दीजिए, दोनों बच्चे खेलेंगे, ड्राइंग कुछ तैयार करके रखने को बोलिए, या समथिंग इंटरेस्टिंग विच इज़ ऑफ देयर ओन इंटरेस्ट, एज अप्रोप्रिएट, सो दैट दे विल डू दैट. मोबाइल आपने दिया, मोबाइल की आदत आपने लगाई, मोबाइल छुड़ाने को भी अब आप कोशिश कर रहे हो, सो दो ही मत।
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, as you have mentioned about a psychoactive addiction, so then after in the next slide we see something like a healthy screen time. So क्या हम उस psychoactive addiction में इस healthy screen time को count कर सकते हैं?
एडिक्शन में कभी हेल्दी नहीं होता है, एडिक्शन इज ऑलवेज एडिक्शन एंड हार्मफुल। तो अगर हेल्दी स्क्रीन टाइम करना है तो 2 घंटे से ज़्यादा बड़े बच्चों में, 1 घंटे से ज़्यादा छोटे बच्चों में, और 2 साल से कम पे बच्चे में बिल्कुल नील स्क्रीन्स होना चाहिए। आप गाना गाइए, पुरानी माएँ कैसे खाना खिलाती थी, लोरी गाती थी ना, हमारी माँ तो हमें लोरी गा के सुनाई, हम खाना खाए, वो लाल चिड़िया, वो चंदा मामा ये दिखा के खिलाए। पर अब की माएँ तो मोबाइल पकड़ा देती हैं, क्यों भाई, खुद गाना गा लो, थोड़ा सा बेसुरा हो तो भी गा लो, है ना। सो इट इज टेक्स अ लिटिल एफर्ट, इट टेक्स अ लिटिल एफर्ट, बट वो तो करना पड़ेगा।
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so actually in younger kids, the bright light, the bright sound and other things also, they impact the brain grown and which persist in later on in the life. So they will be very poorly adjusted in society, they will have behavioral problems, they have poor anger management skills even when they grow up. So that's why less than 2 years you should not be giving mobile to any child. Then already madam had mentioned less than 13 years there should be no social media use, less than 13 years. And as far as practicable, parents are the role models. If you are not following, definitely child will not follow. With this we will like to close this session and
Just one more line. In bigger children more than 2 years, you just channelize the energy of the child. आप बिजी 1 घंटा बाहर खेलने दीजिए उनको, आप ड्राइंग की क्लास ले लो, डांस क्लास में डाल दो, तो बच्चा जब बिजी रहेगा, टाइम नहीं रहेगा, तो ऑटोमेटिकली अवे हो जाएगा स्क्रीन से। दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट पेरेंट्स हैव टू थिंक। So thank you so much madam for very informative, very interesting talk, and thanks to Dr. Niranjan, he suggested this topic. Thank you.
Now I request our chairperson to felicitate our speaker, Dr. Piyali Bhattacharya, for her such an impactful talk today on a such important topic. Rajpal sir. Now I request Dr. Rajpal to felicitate Dr. Niranjan and Dr. Kanupriya to felicitate Dr. Neeta Bhargav. सबसे 2 ही टॉक लेंगे। Next session. Now we are ready to delve into the more learning with the third session of the day, Common Surgical Problems in Children and Management by Dr. Basant Kumar, Professor and Head Department of Pediatric Surgery, SGPGI, Lucknow. The session will be chaired by the Professor Dr. Babatosh Bishwas, the former Vice President, National Board of Examination, former Vice Chancellor, Calcutta Medical University, the past President, Cardiothoracic Association of India. The second chairperson for the session is Dr. Ashutosh Pandey, the Head of Department, Pediatric Surgery, Vivekanand Polyclinic.
And for this, we have a very eminent speaker, Dr. Basant Kumar, very young and dynamic head of Department of Pediatric Surgery at Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate Institute. He is a postgraduate and from KGMC and MCH in Pediatric Surgery from Jaipur. He is instrumental in starting many new things in the Department of Pediatric Surgery at SGPGI, including robotic surgery and pediatric cancer surgery. He is former secretary of Indian Association of Pediatric Surgical Oncology, and he is executive member of Indian Association of Pediatric Surgeons and secretary UP chapter of Indian Association of Pediatric Surgery. So he is going to talk about common surgical problems in children and their management. Dr. Basant.
Oh, thank you, sir, for this nice introduction. Good afternoon. After such a nice talk by Professor Piali, I'm going to talk about some common surgical problems in children and its management. As before going to my talk, I thank all organizers, especially Astos Pandey boss, for inviting me for this in front of this August gathering. I was told that I have to include all common surgical as much as possible, and it's a very vast subject. So I have taken some basic introduction, because it was also told to me most of the person is non-surgical or students. So coming to my talk, first, burden of congenital malformation. It was seen most congenital malformation incidence is 2 to 4%. Recent data says it is more than 2% in Indian context, and more than 2 babies born with correctable congenital anomaly, in which 50% have major anomalies, congenital anomalies that requires urgent surgery after birth. Most of the time they go to pediatricians and then to pediatric surgeon. I have made my slides little bit pictorial to make you interested in it. So practically no anatomic cause of newborn requires immediate surgery. There is some lag period in which you can evaluate, you can manage, and then operate. And family should always be integral part of decision making in such kind of congenital anomalies. Because we know that neonate and infants have unique anatomy and physiological characters, like their unique airways, vessels, immune system, metabolism, etc. So the aim of neonatal care at birth includes establishment of establishment of respiration, prevention of hypothermia, establishment of breastfeeding, prevention of infection. You already know. Most important is identification of at-risk neonate which need surgery. These are some common surgical problems that may be a congenital problems or acquired problems. I am not going to elaborate one by one, and today discussion is focused on to recognize the common pediatric surgical conditions and apply structural system-wise evaluation, use management algorithm, identify red flag emergencies, and know when and whom to refer. First is esophageal atresia and tracheoesophageal fistula. Incidence is usually 1 in 2000 to 3000 live birth, and mostly about 50% they are associated anomalies are there, and it is the defect of canalization of esophagus and has connection of esophagus with growing trachea. It can be divided in five types, and most common type is C type or third type, which correspond to 85%, where the distal part of esophagus connected with respiratory tract. Diagnosis is usually made by drooling of saliva and unable to swallow or feed the child, and if you put a nasogastric tube, you cannot put that tube in the stomach, and child may present with cough and choking, and there may be a cyanosis also if there is a associated heart disease. Antenatally, they are mostly diagnosed by presence of polyhydramnias, and genetic defect occurs in approximately 20% of cases, in which trisomy 21 is most common. Second is congenital diaphragmatic hernia. It is a defect in the developing diaphragm which separates the thorax from the abdomen. Incidence is 2 to 3 per 10,000 live birth, and overall incidence or prevalence is underestimated because most of the cases they died and not reported. 25 to 35% prenatally diagnosed, and most common 80% is occurs on left side, that's called Bagdolak hernia. Bilateral hernia is quite rare, occurs in 1%, and 20 to 30% mortality reported in current literature, and overall survival now with good ICU care and anesthesia approaching above 80%. These are some anatomical and physiological favorable and unfavorable. This is anatomical parameter that favors good prognosis, and unfavorable factors which denotes high mortality. These are physiological parameters I am going to exclude. Repair of this defect can be done by open technique or by laparoscopy or thoracoscopy. If you go for open technique, you can see sometimes content in the thorax cannot be brought down in stomach, and abdomen cannot be closed. So in such situation, we make a silo pouch, and with time, when child grows, it reposit and again close the abdomen. This is the laparoscopic and thoracoscopic repair. And next, coming to GI surgery, most common is bowel obstruction in newborn child. Actually, this is the slides which I prepared especially for this gathering. This is the one of the commonest emergency of neonatal ICU, and early diagnosis and early surgical treatment is the key. 3 cardinal features in every bowel obstruction, that is vomiting, abdominal distension, and failure to pass stool or meconium. Differential diagnosis include gastric outlet obstruction, upper GI obstruction like duodenal or jejunoileal, colonic, lower GI tract obstruction, anorectal malformation, and there are some important non-surgical causes including sepsis, hypothyroidism, necrotic abuse to mother during perioperative period, and extremely prematurity, birth asphyxia, and gastroesophageal reflux. These are the medical causes of that, so it looks like a bowel obstruction. So it can be bowel obstruction divided in high obstruction, low obstruction, and functional obstruction. High obstruction, you will not see the abdominal distension or usually fullness of upper abdomen, but in low obstruction, you will see progressive distension of abdomen. An orderly and organized approach will able to differentiate these conditions most of the time, and baby should be examined carefully and systematically to confirm the diagnosis. History is very important. If there is bowel obstruction, upper GI obstruction, there is history of polyhydramnias. Family history very important because many jejunoileal atresia has hereditary characteristics, and cystic fibrosis is associated 90 to 90% cases of meconium ileus. Small left colon syndrome is usually occur in diabetic mother, and there might be a maternal intake of drugs or sepsis or premature rupture of membrane. Vomiting, for vomiting you have to look for its character and volume. Bile stain vomitus denotes the post-ampullary obstruction, and if non-bile stain vomiting obstruction is proximal to ampulla. If there is a gastric aspirate at time of birth is more than 25 ml, it is mandatory to rule out the obstruction. So non-bilious vomiting with upper abdominal distension shows upper abdominal obstruction like pyloric stenosis, atresias, preampullary variety of duodenal atresias. And if non-bilious vomiting without upper abdominal distension also occurs in gastroesophageal reflux, diaphragmatic hernia, and other non-surgical disorders as I mentioned earlier. While bile stain vomitus with upper abdomen distension we must rule out the malrotation or post-temporary duodenal atresia. Any neonate with feature of upper GI obstruction, malrotation must be considered until it is ruled out. Because malrotation, if you delay to treat the malrotation, bowel will get gangrenous. Any obstruction developing after continuity of GI has been demonstrated by X-ray or rectal passage of gas or transitional stool, malrotation and volvulus should be considered. It's mandatory. So, coming to abdominal distension at birth with bowel obstruction. Most common differential is meconium ileus or cystic meconium peritonitis, and abdominal distension is progressively and significantly in distal bowel obstruction that occurs in 80% of jejunal atresia and 100% of ileal that shows progressive abdominal distension. Higher the level of obstruction, lesser is the abdominal distension. This is the rule. So, neonates with sudden onset and rapidly progressive abdominal distension, malrotation with acute volvulus with superimposed perforation must be thought. A palpable mass at birth, you can see cystic meconium peritonitis, duplication cyst, NEC, necrotizing enterocolitis with fixed dilated bowel lobes, and or in pouch colon. Pouch colon is a variant of anorectal malformation where the distal part of bowel becomes pouch like this one. So, passage of meconium or passing stool, usually when child borns, they normally 94% pass stool or first meconium within 24 hours and 98% up to 48 hours. If there is delay in passing meconium or with ongoing abdominal distension, then we should suspect Hirschsprung disease, meconium ileus, meconium plug syndrome, and small left colon syndrome. Delayed presentation, you can lead to child will present with dehydration, lethargy, hypothermia, septicemia, and neonate with NEC with ischemic insult may present with temperature instability, bradycardia, ascites, palpable mass, and septicemia. I think you all know because most of them are pediatrician here. So, diagnosis is basically clinical or radiological. Conventional abdominal radiography must be done either supine, erect or lateral decubitus according to need, ultrasonography, upper GI contrast study, and contrast enema. You can see in this picture, this is a double bubble denoting the duodenal obstruction, like this one also. Duodenal atresia, there is some, this is perforation peritonitis, all these things. I am not going to explain everything. So, upper GI contrast study is sometimes mandatory in cases of malrotation. If you do a upper GI contrast study, you will see abnormal position of ligament of Treitz, that is lower end of right side of midline, and hold up in the first part of duodenum and dilatation of second and third part of the duodenum. Either if there is a volvulus, you can find a spiral or corkscrew appearance that shows the early filling of a small bowel in right upper quadrant. This one, corkscrew appearance. Contrast and enema is essential for lower bowel obstruction. In distal obstruction, as evident by plain X-ray, high osmolar water soluble material should be given. Usually in children, we prefer water soluble contrast enema, not the barium enema, because it get impacted, and if child get perforated, it causes intense peritonitis. This is the barium enema in a child with intussusception. You can see the claw sign. Ultrasound can detect malrotation, pyloric stenosis, neonatal intussusception, and in NEC it shows thickened bowel lobe, ascites, portal venous gas. This is the ultrasound, this reversal of superior mesenteric vein and artery position. So, approach is antenatal diagnosis, history. If history of hydromnias and family history, we need to see if there is vomiting, abdominal distension, and failure to pass stool. And if there is a non-bile stain vomiting without abdominal distension, it is GR, gastroesophageal reflux, congenital diaphragmatic hernia, eclasia, or non-surgical causes. If non-bilious stent vomiting with upper abdominal distension, it may be a pyloric atresia, pyloric stenosis, or preampullary variety of duodenal atresia. If there is a vomiting, abdominal distension, and failure to pass meconium with distension at time of birth, then it is a complicated meconium ileus, duplication, or intrauterine perforation of bowel. And if there is a progressive abdominal distension and with absent anus, it is anorectal malformation, while if it is not, then go for X-ray. Is high obstruction, vomiting and distension, then you can found double bubble or triple bubble sign to diagnose duodenal or jejunal atresias. If there is calcification, it is a meconium peritonitis. If no calcification, then jejunoileal atresia, Hirschsprung disease, meconium ileus, or some other pathology can be the diagnosis. So coming to most common is acute appendicitis. Everyone is present with periumbilical right left quadrant pain, fever, vomiting. Ultrasound is clinical examination, and ultrasound is most of the time is diagnostic, and it can be complicated or uncomplicated by perforation or obstruction, and management is simple: to excise or appendectomy. That can be done by either laparoscopy or by open surgery. If antibiotic, interval appendectomy is indicated after 6 weeks. Next pathology, intussusception. Intussusception is the invagination of one part of the bowel into other part of bowel, and peak incidence is when child is weaning, that is approximately 6 to 9 months of the age, and it leads to bowel obstruction and then ischemia and causing gangrene, and most of the time it is ileocecal. They present usually with vomiting, intermittent abdominal pain, and passes recurrent jelly stool mixed with blood, mucus, and some necrotic material. Hemodynamic compromise if child present in present late, and management is either air enema, water enema, and sometimes we use gastrographin or urographine to reduce this under fluoroscopy if they present early, or if there is evidence of sepsis or perforation, surgical exploration is indicated. Anorectal malformation is a common pathology in neonates, occurs in 1 in 500 live birth, and most common in male is rectourethral fistula, while in female it is a rectovestibular fistula. And 50% of all patients with anorectal malformation has associated anomaly, and that is Bacterial anomaly. That is vertebral, anorectal, cardiac, tracheal, esophageal, radial, and limb anomalies. These are various classifications to classify and label the anorectal malformations. So, in male, for non-surgical person, if it is male, they may present with no anal opening, abdominal distension and vomiting, and passing stool through urinary meatus, or there may be ectopic or perineal fistula with very small pinpoint or a stenotic opening. In female, there is single opening in perineum that denotes the common cloaca, or there may be 2 opening with absent anus, or there might be a 3 opening but absent normal anus, and there is a fistula in the vestibule. These are the perineal fistula, this is a single opening, common cloaca, only 2 openings, here is the 3 opening. This is the vestibular fistula. This is the algorithm of management, but most of the time it was done in 3 stages. First is by diverting the stoma, other by definitive procedure by creating the new anus, and in third stage we close the ileostomy or colostomy stoma. Urological problems are inguinal hernia. I think everyone is aware about this. Only worry is that in children, if it diagnosed in neonatal period, it must be operated early because there is high chance of strangulation or obstruction. Undescended testis, when testicle didn't distend normally in the scrotum at the time of birth, and it stayed away above the scrotum, either in ilioinguinal region or in the abdomen. They must be operated because they are prone to trauma, strangulation, and in latter part, if kept in upper part of the inguinal canal or in abdomen, there is chances of infertility and development of malignancy in near future. This is the algorithm of this is very important aspect, that is acute scrotum, that causes pain in the scrotum, and most of the time it occurs because of torsion of testis. You must have to identify it early, because if you get late, testicle will lose. If we intervene within 6 months, we can save more than 80% or 90% of the testicle. But if it is delayed more than 24, less than 10% testicle you can save. This hypospadias, I think this is abnormal opening of urethra below the penis. There might be lack of skin characterized by 3: abnormal ventral opening at urethral meatus, and abnormal ventral curvature of the penis, and abnormal distribution of foreskin with a dorsal hood. General principle of hypospadias repair is arthroplasty, urethroplasty, meatoplasty, granuloplasty or skin coverage, but only what you need to know, if child present in early part of his life, and you have to advise her not to go for circumcision, because that skin in future can be used to form the urethra, and if there is meatus stenosis, you need to dilate it. Hydronephrosis, that more common in males, it occurs in 1 into about 1000 to 1500 live births. Left side is more common than right, and bilateral UPGO is 10 to 36% only. And these are UTD classification according to American Urological Association. I am skipping it. Only approximately 1/3 of the affected children will need surgical intervention. Indication is symptomatic cases like pain or mass, increase in renal pelvic epidiameter, or worsening of other parameter on serial ultrasound. Surgery can be done open or by minimally invasive technique. There is 2 technique: dismembered or a flap technique. I think this is little bit technical. Not so differential diagnosis of hydronephrosis is it may be obstructive or non-obstructive. And this is the surgery. Coming to common neurosurgical problem is meningomyelocele. That may be either aperta or occulta. Aperta is most common. Common type of neural tube defect is spinal bifida aperta, that is called myelomeningomyelocele, and incidence is 1 to 2 per 1000 population. It causes multifactorial, and there is altered CSF dynamic, and if associated with Arnold Chiari malformation, hydrocephalus may be present with this anomaly. There is a defect in the back, bony defect in the vertebrae at dorsal aspect, protrusion of dura mater along with CSF and nerve fibers. Management is to cover the lesion with moist sterile gauze dressing. Surgery can be safely carried out within 48 to 72 hours. Prophylactic antibiotic is required, and always look for hydrocephalus. In early period, you can do simple ultrasound head, and you see the dilated ventricles. I think I should skip this. This is the step of complication is wound healing, that is infection, CSF leak, or meningitis, or worsening of neurological functions. Then this is my last slide. After diagnosis, what next? If a child come with all these things, what will you do? First, to stabilize the patient before referral, put a NG tube, aspirate it, and if you are transferring, just like a tracheoesophageal or a child have a bowel obstruction, put a NG tube and give a mucus sucker to parents कि during transport they should suck every whatever child has in his or her mouth. Correct hydration, correct electrolyte before transferring, avoid hypothermia, wrap in cotton or some woolen cloths. Assure proper transport of baby. You have to talk the referred hospital beforehand and then shift the child. And vitamin K and antibiotics should be given, and also we must protect child with for hypoglycemia. For this you need not to run a continuous drip. You advise the person who is with child to give a 10 ml boluses after 10-20 minutes. That's sufficient. Also 10 ml blood we need always, because if we need to operate early, we need blood. And proper nursing, head elevation and vital monitoring, the person who is going with child must be explained. Thank you.
Dr. Basant explained very nicely wide horizon of surgical problems in children. I just want to add 1-2 issues.
Sir.
In addition to this, the chest and cardiovascular poses a lot of problems. Just 1-2 points. Lot of children present to serious respiratory distress in childhood.
Yes.
Left right shunt, ASD, VSD, PDA. ASD continues for a long time, but VSD can die. Then PDA can die. Another is a couple of patients who get serious respiratory distress, and sometimes they rush and it becomes diagnosed congenital lobar emphysema.
Yes.
One lobe is so emphysematous that the collapsed lung pushes the other side. We have done just in local mechanician, the emphysema lung peeps out and baby is saved. So you have covered very, very widely, and these problems in children, if diagnosed in time, all babies can save. Thank you very much for
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your comment.
Anybody having any questions? Okay. So I request chairpersons for this session to felicitate Dr. Basant Kumar for such an informative session today. I request Dr. S.D. Pandey to facilitate Dr. Babatosh Biswas and Dr. Sachin to felicitate Dr. Ashutosh Pandey, sir. We are heading to the last session of today's CME, palliative care, a care beyond the medical care. Palliative care focus on improving the quality of life for the patients. Swami Vivekananda says, serving humanity is equivalent to serving God. Shiva Janni Jiva Seva. The speaker, Professor Dr. Sanjay Dheeraj, Head of Department Anesthesia, SGPGI, will shed light on this vital aspect of the healthcare. The session will be chaired by Dr. Virendra Sharma, Senior Consultant Department of Anesthesia, Vivekanand Polyclinic, past Vice President, Indian Society of Anesthesia, and Dr. Neeraj Tondon, Senior Consultant Radiation Oncologist, Vivekanand Polyclinic.
So, it's my honor to introduce Dr. Sanjay Dhiraj, Professor Sanjay Dhiraj. In SGPGI, he was one of the initiators to start palliative care, and apart from anesthesia services, he has achieved a lot of recognition, some of which he has done a diploma in palliative medicine from Cardiff University, UK. He is life member of the Association of UICC Fellows. He is awardee of the Developing Nations Palliative Care Fellowship, CCPPM Palliative Medicine. And he is still continuing his work in palliative care, and the topic for today's CME is to create an awareness among our colleagues about palliative care, which is a very important aspect. So, over to Professor Sanjay Dhiraj.
Thank you, Dr. Virendra. And firstly, I would like to thank Swamiji and his team for giving me the opportunity in this 39th CME. And this topic, किसी को कौन है यहाँ पर, मतलब कि कौन ऑडियंस कौन है? हमारे DNB के स्टूडेंट्स हैं और कौन है? ज़्यादातर तो DNB के स्टूडेंट्स ही हैं. तो दिस विल बी बेसिकली पैलेटिव केयर के बारे में आप क्या जानते हैं? व्हाट इज़ पैलेटिव केयर? किसी को पता है अभी? देखिए, स्वामी जी का टॉपिक जो है ना, जो थीम ऑफ दैट टॉपिक है वो है फ्रॉम अपीयरेंस टू डिसअपीयरेंस. रखा है ना रखा है ना थीम. तो अभी हम लोग ना अपीयरेंस से हम लोग डिसअपीयरेंस की तरफ आ रहे हैं. बस हम लोग ये जानना चाह रहे हैं कि डिसअपीयरेंस हमारा कैसा होना चाहिए, है ना. द नंबर ऑफ डेज आर नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट इन योर लाइफ, कि अब उन दिनों में आपने क्या किया और वो कैसे बीते, वो ज़्यादातर इम्पॉर्टेंट होते हैं ना. तो पैलेटिव केयर भी उसी तरह से एक ब्रांच है. और आपको ये जान के हैरानी होगी कि पैलेटिव केयर इज़ प्रोवाइडिंग केयर टू दोज पीपल हु हैव इनक्योरेबल डिजीज़. ठीक है. एंड नॉट ओनली टू द पीपल बट ऑल्सो टू देयर फैमिली मेम्बर्स. तो क्या क्या चीज़ें हम लोग मेडिसिन में क्योरेबल हैं, ये बताइए आप. व्हाट इज़ क्योरेबल इन टर्म्स ऑफ मेडिसिन? DNB के स्टूडेंट्स यार, कोई भी बता दो. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है अभी, वैसे तो शाम हो चुकी है, पर कुछ लोग उठ के बता दो क्या क्या क्योरेबल है. व्हाट कैन वी क्योर? हम लोग क्योर क्या कर सकते हैं? क्या क्योर कर सकते हैं? बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन हम क्योर कर रहे हैं. बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन हमारा क्योर हो रहा है. इसके अलावा हम क्या क्योर कर पा रहे हैं? सर्जिकली रिमूवल हम लोग कर पा रहे हैं. इसके अलावा हाइपरटेंशन कैन बी क्योर्ड? नहीं. कंट्रोल कर सकते हो आप. डायबिटीज़ नहीं क्योर कर सकते हैं. तो मोस्टली मेडिसिन में हमारे जितने भी ब्रांचेस हैं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम सर्जिकल एंड सम बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शंस, अभी तो उसकी भी रेजिस्टेंस आ रही है. वी आर नॉट एबल टू कंट्रोल देम. वी आर नॉट एबल टू क्योर देम. वी आर ओनली एबल टू कंट्रोल देम. कंट्रोल ही कर पा रहे हैं हम लोग.
देखिए सर, एक चीज़ है, ओल्ड एज डिफिकल्ट है, फॉरगेटफुलनेस.
हाँ, डिमेंशिया इज लाइक,
ये इसको क्योर नहीं है, बड़ा मुश्किल है.
इसका भी क्योर नहीं. तो मोस्टली
फिर अल्जाइमर डिजीज, all these, and then health disability, and those things are the routine है, जैसे कि डायबिटीज, हाइपरटेंशन, they are not curable.
इन द सेम वे जैसे ओल्ड एज की बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, या आजकल तो न्यू ऑनसेट डिमेंशियाज हैं, है ना, अल्जाइमर्स डिजीज है, क्योर नहीं है इनका. इनको आप कंट्रोल कर पा रहे हो.
एंड द डिप्रेशन.
सो दीज आर ऑल द थिंग्स. एंड और कौन सी चीज़ें जिसमें हम लोग सिर्फ कंट्रोल कर पा रहे हैं? उसमें से मेजर चंक है कैंसर का. कैंसर इज़ एक समय पर, एक स्टेज पर आने के बाद वी आर एबल टू एडिक्वेटली कंट्रोल इट. मतलब उसका पेन है, आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हो, ठीक है, पर आप क्यों नहीं कर सकते उसको. तो ऐसे जो मरीज है ना, जो कि हाइपरटेंशन की वजह से या डायबिटीज़ की वजह से वो एक ऐसी स्टेज में चले जा रहे हैं जहाँ पर कुछ चीज़ों का क्योर पॉसिबल नहीं है. जैसे कि उसको रीनल फेलियर हो गया. अब जब तक ट्रांसप्लांट नहीं है तब तक आप कंट्रोल ही कर सकते हो, ठीक है, और ट्रांसप्लांट सबको मिलता नहीं है. उसी तरह से बहुत सारी लिवर डिजीज़ है, लिवर सिरोसिस हो गया, है ना.
तो उसको आप कंट्रोल कर पा रहे हो। कैंसर हो गया, उसको कंट्रोल कर पा रहे हो। तो ये सब चीज़ें जब आप कंट्रोल ही कर पा रहे हो तो उसको कंट्रोल करने के लिए आपको बहुत सारी चीज़ें, जैसे कि अगर कैंसर होगा या अगर किडनी फेलियर होगा तो पेशेंट का पेन होगा, पेन को आप कंट्रोल एडिक्वेटली कर लो तो आप उसको कंट्रोल कर पाओगे, ठीक। तो इसी तरह से जो भी ऐसी बीमारियां हैं, क्योंकि ये पेशेंट को जब ये पता लगता है कि उसको कैंसर है तो आपकी दुनिया अलग है, उसकी दुनिया अलग हो जाती है ना। ऐसे ही होगा कि भाई अब उसी तरह से उसकी फैमिली की दुनिया भी अलग हो जाती है। तो हम लोगों को ऐसे पेशेंट्स और ऐसे पेशेंट के रिलेटिव्स को कुछ इस तरह से समझाना है और उसको अंदर लाना है, क्योंकि ऐसे पेशेंट्स को हम लोग छोड़ देते हैं कि अब आप घर जाके अपना इलाज कर लो, जो खोना है अब घर होगा, ठीक। पर अभी हम लोग को ये सोचना पड़ेगा कि क्योंकि मोस्टली तो 99% तो आप कंट्रोल ही कर पा रहे हो, आप क्योर नहीं कर पा रहे हो, तो ऐसे पेशेंट आपके पास वापस आते रहेंगे, इनके रिलेटिव्स आपके पास वापस आते रहेंगे। अब आप इनको इग्नोर कर सकते हो या इनका कुछ कर सकते हो। मेडिकल साइंस में हम मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि इफ़ वी टेक सम एफर्ट तो हम लोग इनका कुछ कर सकते हैं, इनके और इनके रिश्तेदारों को कुछ कर सकते हैं। क्योंकि अगर आप लीड नहीं लोगे अभी इस समय, क्योंकि आप DNB के स्टूडेंट्स हो, आपको अभी आगे बढ़ना है, अभी आप लीड नहीं लोगे ना, तो क्या है कि पीपल अपार्ट फ्रॉम यू विल टेक लीड, तो क्या होगा कि धीरे धीरे दवाइयाँ वो लोग महंगी देंगे, क्योंकि आपका कहना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप उसको ना आप 1% चांस देते हो ना तो वो घर बेचने को तैयार हो जाता है। तो एक समय पर आपको बोलना पड़ेगा कि ये पॉसिबल है, ये पॉसिबल नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ देश में ना सोशल फैक्टर भी बहुत काम करता है। अगर आप किसी भी आदमी को आज की तारीख में या किसी भी फैमिली को आज की तारीख में गरीब कर देते हो तो इट विल टेक एटलीस्ट 2 जनरेशन्स उसको फिर से वो लेवल लाने में। तो आपको ये भी देखना है कि वो दवाइयाँ जो आप दे रहे हो वेदर दे आर एक्चुअली रिक्वायर्ड और नॉट, और उसी तरह से फिर हमको आगे बढ़ना है। तो ये सोच के हम लोग ना आगे बढ़ेंगे कि हाँ हमको कौन कौन सी दवाइयाँ देनी है, इसमें हमको ये दवाई देनी भी है कि नहीं देनी है, इस तरह से होप देना है कि नहीं देना है, या हमको सच बोलना है और उसको डिसीजन लेने देना है। पर आप सच बोलोगे तभी वो डिसीजन ले पाएगा, अगर आप भी थोड़ा सा दाएं बाएं रहोगे तो आप डिसीजन नहीं ले पाएंगे, ठीक। तो दिस इज़ पैलिएटिव केयर। और इसके बाद हम लोग देखेंगे कि पैलिएटिव केयर का आयाम क्या है, मतलब कि उसके फीचर्स क्या है। तो इसके बारे में ना मैं तुम लोगों से एक चीज़ पूछना चाह रहा था कि इट इज़ लाइक फिजिकल, साइकोलॉजिकल, सोशल और स्पिरिचुअल, ये ना टोटल पेन का कॉन्सेप्ट है। ये इसलिए बनाया गया कि लोगों ने देखा कि वी आर वेरी कंफर्टेबल, आज भी आप DNB के हम लोग भी अभी भी वी आर वेरी कंफर्टेबल व्हेन वी आर कमिंग टू फिजिकल साइंस। बड़ा कंफर्टेबल है हम लोग, क्योंकि हमको पता है पेन का इलाज क्या आप खट करके बोल दोगे, क्या ब्रेथलेस का इलाज क्या है आप बता दोगे, है ना, एसाइटिस क्या करना है, ड्रेन करना है आप बता दोगे, सब कुछ है। पर अगर कोई मरीज बोलता है ना मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, तो आपके लिए एक प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि अच्छा नहीं लग रहा ना एक बहुत बड़ा एक आयाम है, ठीक है। और फिर ये पाया गया है कि साइकोलॉजिकल बिहेवियर जो है दैट इज़ मोर डिस्ट्रेसिंग देन फिजिकल बिहेवियर। वो इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि वो आपके मन में है। कभी कभी आप बोलते हैं ना यार ये पेशेंट का मैंने एक भी इंजेक्शन लगा दिया, ये भी लगा दिया, फिर भी रो रहा है, फिर भी ये प्रॉब्लम है इसको, ये बहुत चिल्ला रहा है वार्ड में, अब इसका क्या करें, अब ये तो दे दिया हम लोगों ने, अब इसके आगे क्या दें। तो फिजियोलॉजिकल साइकोलॉजिकल इश्यूज इसलिए इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि हम लोगों ने सबने एग्ज़ाम दिया है ना, एग्ज़ाम देने के पहले हम लोग का पेट दर्द हो जाता है, किसी का सिर दर्द हो जाता है, तो वो क्या ऐसे ही हो जाता है क्या? नहीं, अगर आप देखा जाए तो रियल है। वो रियल इसलिए है क्योंकि देयर आर पाथवेज, लिम्बिक सिस्टम है जो कि रियली एक स्ट्रेशंस बना रहा है, एनाटॉमिकल स्ट्रक्चर है वो। तो अगर आप, कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर आप साइकोलॉजिकली पेशेंट को ठीक नहीं कर पा रहे हो, मतलब या कम से कम ये बात कर पा रहे हो कि आपको कोई और तकलीफ है क्या, तो फिर आपका इशू ये है कि आपका जो मेडिसिन की ट्रीटमेंट है ना वो इनएडुकेट रहेगी। कहने का मतलब कि अगर सपोज जो हेडेक है, वो जो आपका एग्ज़ाम का हेडेक है, वो पैरास्टामोल से नहीं जाएगा, वो आपका एग्ज़ाम देने के बाद एग्ज़ाम अगर अच्छा हो जाएगा तो खुद ही डिसअपियर हो जाएगा। तो इसका मतलब कि आपको पेशेंट को कम से कम ये मौका देना पड़ेगा बोलने के लिए कि उसको क्या तकलीफ़ है। आप ये बोलोगे क्या दर्द है, तो बोलेगा हाँ दर्द है, तो सब कुछ दर्द के दायरे में रह जाएगा। उसको ये बोलने की मौका होना चाहिए कि नहीं, मेरे ना मुझे जो तकलीफ़ सबसे ज़्यादा ये है कि मेरे बच्चे की एजुकेशन नहीं हो रही है। अब ये जब उसने ये बोल दिया तो हो सकता है कि आप मदद कर पाएँ, हो सकता है आप मदद ना कर पाएँ, दैट इज़ आउट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन। बाद में हम लोग ये भी सीख लेंगे कि हाँ, आपको समझ में आता है कि इस एनजीओ से बात करेंगे तो ये इस तरह से मदद कर देगा, इस एनजीओ से बात करेंगे तो ये मदद कर देगा, बाद में वो आ जाएगा। या इस फैकल्टी से बात करूँगा या इस रेजिडेंट से बात करूँगा तो ये मेरे इसमें हेल्प कर देगा, वो बाद में आप एक ग्रुप बना लोगे। पर अगर आपने क्वेश्चन ही नहीं पूछा ये वाला कि आपको क्या तकलीफ़ है, तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें आपसे बाहर रह जाएंगी। तो हो सकता है वो साइकोलॉजिकल पाथवेज हो जिसमें आपका ट्रीटमेंट जो हो वो अच्छी तरह से काम करे। अगर आप कोई दवाई दे रहे हो तो वो 50% काम कर रही है, पर आपने साइकोलॉजिकली उसको पूछ लिया और उसका ये पार्ट भी उसको बोलने दिया, तो हो सकता है कि आप ज़्यादा ट्रस्टवर्दी बने, आपके पास लोग आएंगे फिर, या कि ये वाला डॉक्टर अच्छा है यार, ठीक है, इसने मुझे टाइम दिया। क्यों एक मैं इंसिडेंट आपको बोलता हूँ कि मैं अपने फादर को ले गया था बहुत बड़े डॉक्टर को दिखाने के लिए, तो उसने सब कुछ किया, मतलब कि सब मेरे हिसाब से मेडिकली ही मैनेज्ड हिम वेरी वेल, मतलब कि सब कुछ दवाई लिख दी। मेरे फादर खुश नहीं थे, बोले यार स्टेथोस्कोप तो लगाया नहीं। तो आप ये वो समझ रहे हैं ना कि मतलब छोटी छोटी चीज़ें हैं कि आपने उसकी साइकोलॉजी तो पढ़ी ही नहीं या स्टेथोस्कोप तो लगाया नहीं। तो यहाँ पर आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि आपको उसको एक ओपन क्वेश्चन पुट अप होता है, आपको क्या तकलीफ़ है, वो बताएगा कि उसको क्या तकलीफ है। हो सकता है वो तकलीफ़ बहुत सारी और चीज़ें हो सकती हैं। तो इसमें मोटा मोटी हमको ये जानना है कि फिजिकल सिम्टम्स तो हैं ही, जैसे पेन अदर सिम्टम्स होते हैं, उसके साथ साइकोलॉजिकल सिम्टम्स भी होते हैं, सोशल सिम्टम्स भी होते हैं और स्पिरिचुअल भी होते हैं। ये पेशेंट अगर जब तक आप ये चारों चीज़ें नहीं पूछोगे या चारों चीज़ें उसको बोलने नहीं दोगे, तब तक आपका जो टोटल पेन है या टोटल पेन बोलो या टोटल मैनेजमेंट बोलो, वो एक तरह से इनएडुकेट रहेगा। तो हम लोग अब ये बस इतना ही है इसमें टोटल, मतलब कि पैलेटिव में यही है। अगर आपका कम्युनिकेशन अच्छा है, पेशेंट को आप बोलने दे रहे हो, इस पर भी पेशेंट को बोलने देने के बाद भी एक स्टडी हुई है, मतलब दे हैव डन अ स्टडी इन विच पेशेंट और डॉक्टर के इंटरेक्शन देखा है इन लोगों ने। 11 मिनट का इंटरेक्शन था, उसमें से डॉक्टर जो था वो 9 मिनट बोला, पेशेंट सिर्फ 3 मिनट ही बोल पाया, और हर 15 सेकंड में डॉक्टर ने उसको इंटरप्ट किया था, क्योंकि उसको लगता था कि वो पहले से समझ गया है। तो ये इसका मतलब ये हुआ ना कि हम लोग जो बोलते हैं कि ओपीडी में टाइम नहीं है, तो हो सकता है कि ये भी हो सकता है कि हम लोग ही बोल रहे हैं, वो डॉक्टर वो पेशेंट तो बेचारा बोल ही नहीं पा रहा है। तो वहाँ से भी मतलब इतना नहीं है, हम 300 पेशेंट देख रहे हैं, 300 पेशेंट की ओपीडी है, हम लोग की ओपीडी जहाँ चलते हैं मैं मानता हूँ, पर इफ़ यू गिव देम टाइम, सो आई थिंक सो द डायग्नोसिस विल बी फास्टर एंड यू विल बी एबल टू गेट अ हॉलिस्टिक ट्रीटमेंट। तो हॉलिस्टिक ट्रीटमेंट में हम लोग ये 4 चीज़ें पूछने की कोशिश करें। उसमें हो सकता है कि इसमें से आधी चीज़ें आप सुलझा ना पाओ, पर क्योंकि आपने पूछ लिया इसलिए हो सकता है कि वो पेशेंट आपके पास दोबारा आए, नहीं तो किसी और के पास चला जाएगा। ठीक, तो उसी तरह से ना हम लोग इस पेशेंट का, एक पेशेंट था हमारे पास, ये एक पेशेंट है, ठीक है, ये लंग कैंसर का पेशेंट है, ओनली ब्रेड विनर ऑफ द फैमिली, और मतलब इसी से घर चलता है, और इसके 2 बच्चे हैं, एक 9 साल का है और एक 10 साल का है। तो अब ये पेशेंट में फिजिकल सिम्टम्स क्या हो सकते हैं? हाँ ये है, ये एक था पेशेंट, एक था हमारा। तो इस पेशेंट में क्या क्या हो सकता है फिजिकल सिम्टम्स, बताओ? इसमें तो बताने आसान है। लंग कैंसर का पेशेंट तो क्या हो सकता है? कफ हो सकता है, शॉर्टनेस ऑफ ब्रेथ हो सकती है, ठीक है, वीकनेस हो सकती है, और चेस्ट पेन हो सकता है। तो फिजिकल हमारा तैयार है, बिल्कुल कोई चक्कर नहीं है ना। इसमें अब साइकोलॉजिकल सिम्टम्स क्या हो सकते हैं? डिप्रेशन, ठीक है, साइकोलॉजिकल सिम्टम डिप्रेशन। और क्या हो सकता है इस पेशेंट में? हैं, एंग्जाइटी हो सकती है, ठीक, बिल्कुल सही बोला। होपलेसनेस हो सकती है। तो दीज आर ऑल द सिम्टम्स। इसमें इसके अलावा इसमें सोशल सिम्टम्स क्या हो सकते हैं? सोशल सिम्टम का मतलब मैं बताता हूँ कि क्या मतलब है, अवॉइडिंग द पीपल। वो बोलता है कि अब मैं क्या जाऊँ, मेरा सोशल स्ट्रक्चर, मेरा पहले फैमिली से शुरू होता है। फैमिली में उसकी पोजीशन डाउन हो रही है, उसको ये समझ में आ रहा है, पहले ही वॉज अ सोल ब्रेड विनर, अब वो क्या है, उन पर डिपेंडेंट हो गया है। तो उसको लगेगा कि अब ना वो रिक्लूसिव हो जाएगी, वो अपने अंदर आ जाएगा। तो सोशली ही विल बिकम अलूफ, है ना। आपने पहले वहाँ खोएगा, उसके बाद सोशल जाना भी, विजिट भी जाना बंद कर देगा। तो और कुछ कुछ जो पेशेंट्स ऐसे भी हैं जिनके ओरल कैंसर्स होते हैं, दे स्मेल सो बैड कि बच्चे भी उनके साथ मिलना नहीं चाहते, मतलब कि हाँ अब तो वो भी उनको आपको देखना है कि हाँ हो सकता है आप मेट्रोजेल दो, ब्रेथलेसनेस चली, वो ऑर्डर चली आती है, तो फिर बच्चे आ सकते हैं। तो देयर आर मैनी वेज, मतलब अगर आप सोचोगे नहीं तो होगा नहीं, तो आपको ये खुल के उन पर बोलना पड़ेगा और क्वेश्चन आपको ओपन करना पड़ेगा। इट कैन नॉट बी अ स्पेसिफिक कि आपको क्या पेन है, आपको क्या ब्रेथलेसनेस है, आपको क्या पेट में पानी है, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता। आपको क्या तकलीफ़ है, तभी शुरू होगा कि वो बोलना शुरू करेगा, तब आप समझ पाओगे कि उसकी तकलीफ़ क्या है, नहीं तो नहीं समझ पाओगे। ठीक, तो इसमें और स्पिरिचुअल क्या हो सकता है? तो फिजिकल में तो ये देख लीजिए, ये तो आप लोगों ने ज़्यादातर बोल ही दिया ना, इम्पेयर्ड फंक्शन, अनएबल, ये में नोजिएटेड रेस्पिरेटरी का हो गया। साइकोलॉजिकल भी आपने बता ही दिया। मेरी फैमिली
प्लीज वाइंड अप सर, सो वी एड ऑफ टाइम।
हाँ हो गया, ख़त्म हो गया हमारा। सोशल में फाइनेंशियल हो गया, ये सब कुछ हो गया। और स्पिरिचुअल में बहुत सारा हो सकता है कि हाँ मेरे साथ भगवान ने ये सब कुछ क्यों किया, मेरे साथ ही ये होना था, ये सब कुछ होता है। अच्छा, स्पिरिचुअल में भी हेल्प मिलती है, अगर आपका अपना ग्रुप बन जाएगा तो स्पिरिचुअल हेल्प भी आपको मिल जाती है, तो वो भी आपको फ़ायदा होता है। तो ये 4 आयाम हैं। प्रॉब्लम इज़ ह्यूज, ठीक है, पर इफ़ वी आस्क एन ओपन क्वेश्चन, ठीक है, देन आई थिंक सो वी कैन गेट समवेयर। अदरवाइज़ क्या होगा ना, हम उसी में थोड़ा सा फिजिकल में हमने पढ़ लिया, थोड़ा बहुत पढ़ के आप निकल गए, तब भी आप अच्छे बन जाओगे, ऐसा तो कुछ है नहीं, मतलब कि बन ही जा रहे हैं सबके साथ। तो प्रॉब्लम इज़ ह्यूज, बट इफ़ यू रियली वांट टू केयर फॉर द पेशेंट्स, देन दिस इज़ ऑल्सो अ वे फॉरवर्ड। ठीक, और हम लोग होम विजिट भी किया था, तो पेशेंट जो हैं दे स्माइल। अगर उनको हेल्प करोगे, ऐसा नहीं है कि सबसे में डिप्रेस ही रहते हैं और सबसे में, दे आर गुड पीपल, ऐसा नहीं है कि उनकी मदद की जा सकती है, दे आर नॉट होपलेस उस तरह से। ठीक है, थैंक यू, थैंक्स अ लॉट।
Thank you, sir. I think you explained it very well, and I agree that one of the issues which you raised, in terminally ill these cancer patients, usually what we do is we tell the attendants, you take home and do seva. Nobody bothers because the problem is insisting. He is having severe intractable pain, and we say, okay, now it is the last stage, you take home and do seva. So at that stage, this palliative care, and there is less awareness among our colleagues also about palliative care. We do not know where to refer, how to get these patients their end stage, which is very important. So thank you very much for so nicely explaining and in very simple and logistic words.
Thank you.
So you didn't tell about how to relieve the pain and like regarding blocks and all that. I thought you will speak. Okay, thank you, sir.
Say one thing. You see, this is a routine felicitation of our guest speakers, but there has not been any tradition to felicitate the man of the match. But I think the doctor is the man of the match today. He has captured the audience, and when they were drooping and feeling sleepy, he kept everybody. So the palliative care is really beyond medical care. Thank you very much.
I also request Dr. Sanjeet Bose to felicitate Dr. Neeraj and Dr. Anuj to felicitate Dr. Virendra.
And we'll definitely call you again for such interacting situations. You are wonderful, sir. एक मिनट ठहरो, अच्छी जरा करो। दीपक, wait.
Now I request Dr. B.K. Singh, the medical superintendent, to deliver the vote of thanks.
On behalf of Vivekanand Polyclinic and Institute of Medical Sciences, and with the blessings of Swami Muktinathananda, I thank, profound thanks to all speakers as well as the organizing people who have contributed for this CME. And why this appearance to disappearance theme was decided by Swamiji, as in Gita it has been said already, a very beautiful shlok is there, that avyakt bhutani, avyakt dini bhutani, vyakt madhyani bharata, avyakt nidhna nev tatra ka parivedana. Its meaning has been given in song was there कि संसार की हर शय का इतना ही फसाना है, एक धुंध से आना है और एक धुंध में जाना है. So इस रंग भूमि में इस पृथ्वी पर, इस मृत्यु लोक पे रंग भूमि में हम लोग अलग अलग कैरेक्टर्स करते हैं, अलग अलग रोल करते हैं. इस समय CME में जो भी थोड़ा बहुत हम लोगों ने सीखा, इसको यंग माइंड should implement practically, and with the theme that every living being, especially Jeev Seva is Shiv Seva, means you are serving the divine. If you are treating a human being, irrespective of his economic status, his racial status, or everything, yeah, you are serving the divine, which Swami Vivekananda has propagated. So with this, I thank you everyone who has come over here, and thanks a lot, and I appreciate the spirit and that knowledge you have gathered, and we'll meet again. Thank you so much. And a profound thanks to our chief guest who has come all the way with a very short notice. Thanks a lot.